How are you guys doing, Extreme Foolishness family? I've been talking to you guys about the drama going on in the Republican Party. It's like a civil war is going on in the Republican Party. That's what I'll be talking to you guys about today. Let's go. This is Extreme Foolishness TV. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness in the political world and in the popular culture world. Today I'll be talking to you guys about drama in the Republican Party following the acquittal of former President Donald Trump in the Senate, in this trial. We know what happened. He got acquitted. Now the Republican Party is struggling to find its new identity. I'm going to say some stuff. I want you guys to pay attention. It requires a little bit of logic here. So you guys please pay attention while I explain to you the foolishness going on. The Republican senators, the ones who voted to acquit Trump, many of them knew that Trump was guilty for what he did, but they hid behind procedural defect in acquitting Trump, aka they made an excuse for acquitting Trump. Mitch McConnell, after the acquittal of Trump, he voted to acquit Trump. He got on the Senate floor and gave a scathing rebuke of Donald Trump. He even suggested Donald Trump may be criminally responsible for what he did. He pretty much did a closing statement for the impeachment managers. He said Trump did it. He incited the mob. I think he even called them terrorists. They attacked the Capitol. Officers were dead and blah, blah, blah. But he still voted to acquit Donald Trump. A lot of Senate Republicans, other Senate Republicans also voted to acquit Trump. People like Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Mike Lee, you already know what they were going to do. They were going to vote to acquit Trump. And the reason they were voting to acquit Trump is because, the reason they voted to acquit Trump was because they are scared of Trump's base turning on them. They're probably thinking that may hurt their political career. But think about it. The same base that Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, and Senator Mike Lee are trying to pander to is the same base that Mitch McConnell called terrorist. It's the same base that Trump has thrown under the bus. He didn't pardon them. Trump's lawyer even said no reasonable person will think that Trump's statements were words of incitement. In other words, he's saying they are unreasonable. Now you have Trump's lawyer throwing the MAGA nation and the mob under the bus. Mitch McConnell has thrown them under the bus. Donald Trump himself has thrown them under the bus. Yes. The QAnon folks have been thrown under the bus by Donald Trump. A lot of them are feeling rejected by Trump. I did a video on that. I'll post the link to the video in the description. You can check that video. So the foolishness now is, why are the Republicans or the Senate Republicans still pandering to Donald Trump despite Donald Trump throwing the MAGA nation under the bus? If anything, you would think they should join hands with the MAGA nation to throw Donald Trump under the bus, because Donald Trump is just one person. The MAGA nation is an entire group of people. The folks who came to march and soldier on for Donald Trump on January 6th came because they listened to Donald Trump. They were following his orders. Now Mitch McConnell has thrown them under the bus. Now Don Jr. posted a tweet on Twitter, pretty much declared a civil war in the Republican Party. This is what Don Jr. said. If only McConnell was so righteous as the Democrats trampled Trump and the Republicans while pushing Russia collusion BS for 3 years, or while Dems incited 10 months of violence, arson, and rioting. Yeah, then he just sat back and did jack, S word. Don Jr. also said, let's impeach rhinos from the Republican Party. To me, Don Jr.'s statement saying let's impeach rhinos from the Republican Party is a declaration of war in the Republican Party. He's saying, hey, if you can think for yourself and you're not on the Trump train and you want to stand for the country, the Constitution, you're a rhino, aka Republican in name only, and they should be impeached from the Republican Party. That is a declaration of war, a civil war in the Republican Party. Because now the Republican Party is struggling to have its identity. The conservative, the traditional conservative versus the Trump folks. What identity? How are they going to move on? The Senate Republicans lost a good chance of putting Trump away. I don't think they were thinking they are going to live to regret this decision for acquitting Donald Trump. Because now Trump is going to be all over controlling things. He's going to ruin the Republican Party. Republican parties has forgotten. In 4 more years, a 14-year-old right now will be an 18-year-old. 14-year-olds will be 18-year-olds. In 4 more years, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds will be 19-year-olds. In 4 more years, 16-year-olds will be 20-year-olds. In 4 more years, 17-year-olds will be 21-year-olds. There's a large infusion of people into the electorate. A lot of these young kids do not like the Republican Party. It may take 25 years for the Republican Party to rehabilitate himself after Trump is done destroying the Republican Party. You know he doesn't care about anybody else. He doesn't care about the party. He only cares about himself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm just a messenger here. Let me know. Do you think that there's a civil war in the Republican Party? Do you think the Republican Party needs to rebrand itself? How are they going to move on after Trump? Do you think they lost an opportunity to put Trump away? Does it make sense to you that the Senate Republicans are still pandering to Trump because they think doing so will please the MAGA nation and the mob, despite the same Trump throwing the MAGA nation and the mob under the bus? Let me know what you think in the comments. Drink your water, people. Eat your veggies. Sleep well. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Social distance. Stay away from the drama. And most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.